putting my whole ministry here seemed like a lot, but God has really blessed that in so many ways. I'm so glad to be a part of Kansas City. Glenn and I were actually just a part of two different churches. The first church we were a part of, and then Indian Creek Community Church was the church we planted. From that church, we felt led to start Love KC to serve other churches. What I actually heard from God in that whole process was, leave one church to serve many. So I feel like this is part of the serving many. I didn't have an idea that Glue would invite me along the way to partner with them in marketing and be a city's leader in Kansas City, and then later on send me to other cities. So didn't see that coming, but I'm excited to talk to you today about reaching digital explorers. And if I was wearing my Love KC hat, I would say, live on mission, and then share your life with people, share Christ with people where you live, learn, work, and play. But we're actually taking it a step further today, talking about digital explorers. So yes, live on mission with the sphere of influence God has given you. But actually there's a way to reach people outside your own sphere of influence, because they essentially come to you digitally. So that's what we're here to talk about today. A lot of you know about this, but let's go a little bit deeper. I want to play this video for you.
It all started with a question. How did the world's greatest love story become known as a hate group? Somehow, Jesus' message of love has been lost in today's cultural dialogue, while the church and Christians aren't always seen in favorable light. As a result, Jesus has become less known, while the church has become less relevant and less welcome in mainstream culture. So research was commissioned by the Servant Foundation to better understand the perceptions people have about the church, Christians, and Jesus. They asked 8,000 people of diverse backgrounds and ages, and people responded that they are drawn to the values Jesus represents. Things like peace, acceptance, compassion, loving others. And if you connect with them around those values, they'll listen. So what would it look like to help people get to know Jesus on their terms? That's where He Gets Us comes in, a nationwide campaign aimed at increasing the respect and relevancy of Jesus, while calling Christians to better reflect Jesus in how they love others. The campaign consists of ads which are provocative and intentionally challenging, aimed at helping people meet the real Jesus of the Bible, the one who loved everyone, stood for the marginalized, and understands our daily challenges because He experienced them too. As people see these ads, they'll be given the opportunity to connect. If they're interested, we'll route that person to the nearest participating church so they can start to build a relationship. Some might want prayer, need help, or want to talk more about Jesus. And as a partner, you'll get resources, trainings, tools, and conversation guides that empower leaders and volunteers to be equipped to engage with people who respond to this campaign. So if your ministry wants to participate, whether through prayer, spreading the word, or showing up in conversation, join us today as we reestablish the power of the greatest love story in history. Let this incredible campaign bring new people to you for help, conversation, and hope.
So how many of you have seen the, it's exciting. How many of you have seen the He Gets Us ads? Have you seen those around town? Okay. So I get this reaction a lot of times from people. About half of the people have seen them and some don't, which could be part of just different places. So a lot of people have seen these, a lot of people haven't. I wanted to mention the Signatories had a big hand in helping. The Servant Foundation, Signatory both have had a big part of this campaign. But it's a national campaign, so as you're running across the nation, you'll see them on, perhaps you saw them in the NCAA basketball tournament. You'll see them in the NBA finals that are happening right now. You see them on baseball games at Wells Stadium. We just had them on the little banner ads that go across. Discovery Channel has had the ads on. So before this campaign is all finished, probably, $150 million plus spent in ad spend just this year to be able to help the public have a biblical view of who Jesus is, because it's been skewed, and we all would acknowledge that by the culture. And so, first of all, helping people to be able to understand the humanity of Jesus. Where it's going in a longer term, though, would be two other places I think you'll be interested in. One is helping other people who are followers of Jesus to be more like him. Because if you're trying to figure out what a Christian is from social media, you would have a very distorted view of what a Christian is, right? So the second phase will actually be calling people up who are followers of Jesus to be more like him. And third phase will deal more with the divinity of Jesus. So those are coming. Those will be taking place throughout into the first quarter of next year. So networks, churches, denominations are people who are using these ads. You can use them in your local church. And so if you want to think about it in this way, it might help you understand. When you look at it, if you were seeing a house, you would see that He Gets Us is the attractive part of the house. Glue and everything that makes it work is like underneath, it's the foundation. It's where inside of the walls where all the plumbing is. Because glue, what glue does is they provide the utilities, the infrastructure, the communication that makes it all work. But we don't want glue to be the issue. We want people to see the campaign He Gets Us and engage there. So these are the objectives. I've just shared those with you. I wanted you to see one of the ads if you haven't seen it before.
A caring man took a walk. He saw people suffering. Anxiety ran high. Hatred rose. I'll prepare a feast and bring them together, he thought. But some refused to join him. He was heartbroken because he wanted everyone to be filled, not with food and wine, but with compassion.
Most of the ads they'll be anywhere between as short as 15 seconds, or they might be as long as a minute, depending on what the subject matter of the ad is. You can see them on social media, you might see them on television. But the idea is, over a period of time, once you get people watching it, and they begin to be looking forward to these ads, then they have more attention to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. So they're meant to build upon each other. If you look on your table, you can see a handout there. I think some of the numbers are pretty fascinating. 95 million plus outdoor impressions. I've actually heard that's over 100,000 now. 100 million now. 30 million YouTube views. If you go to YouTube, you can actually just type in the search bar, He Gets Us ads, and you can find the channel. And if you subscribe to that channel, every time one is produced, then you'll get a notice another one's come out. There's probably 20 plus, and they're in English as well as in Spanish. These are some other ads He Gets Us because he's been bullied. Have you ever been bullied? You ever been arrested? You ever been betrayed by a friend? So was Jesus. Jesus was born to a teenage mom. Jesus was homeless. Jesus was an immigrant. So it's provocative, meant to make you think, and also to make you identify with who Jesus was in his humanity. And the whole idea is to engage it at a deeper level. So anyone who sees the He Gets Us ads has an opportunity on any one of those ads to go to hegetsus.com. If you go there, you have essentially three choices. One is you could click on a 24/7 chat, which 47% of all the people who go there click to 24/7 chat. So we hired a prayer network to engage people. And they'll talk to any person anywhere in the U.S. any time of day about what's on their mind or heart, which I think is a pretty cool deal. I mean, that right there makes my heart jump for joy. That the church is showing up in the space where people feel comfortable in a way that they accept, and then is ready to entertain whatever their thoughts are, whatever their questions are. Another way they can respond is they could just click they want to learn more. And so if they go down that route, then they're connected to copy first that kind of tells the story I'm telling you. And from there they can go to a YouVersion Bible journey. They could pick any one of several different journeys with YouVersion to engage in the scriptures. So that's one where they don't have to intersect with anybody if they don't want to. The third one is where you guys come in. If they click on the third one, they can be connected to a church. And so inside of churches, we're recruiting churches across the country. There's over 50 in Kansas City who've said yes and are active in their willingness to receive digital explorers. And so if you're one of those churches, you get a person like this into your inbox. There's an admin section where you can assign them to others. You can follow them up on yourself, so you don't have to use your own phone number. And then you can just communicate directly with them and have conversations that go back and forth. I'm presently texting back and forth with about 7 people right now. And so for me, what I do is I just check it 2 or 3 times a day to see if they've answered my text. I respond to their texts. I try to do layups, I call it, like really simple things to make them want to talk more. So I'll engage at whatever level they want to engage it. If it's really super simple and seems superficial, I can be superficial. My wife can tell you that. So I'll stay at that level, but I keep asking them, do you want more? Like, would you like to talk more? Do you want to move from text to phone? Usually they say no, but at least give them that opportunity. And I might type them a 2-sentence prayer and then see if they respond to that or how they respond. And so just building relationship and building trust with them. I don't send them anything scripted. I might, like 2 or 3 weeks into the conversation, I might invite them to an online service or something like that, but I don't want them to feel like I'm just using this medium to try to get them to do what I want them to do. Once I feel like I have a relationship, I can say, hey, check out this or check out that, and then I'll answer back, what do you think about that? So just it's really using common sense and building relationships. But what you're doing is engaging with people who don't know Christ. And so I guess today my simple invite is just to say, in order to serve the number of people who are coming through, yesterday was an all-time high. 333 people came through in 24 hours yesterday. And if Mark, you're shaking your head, you probably got 2 or 3 yesterday. A whole lot of people did. It's just all day long, people continually coming through. About every 2.5 minutes, someone says, I want to talk to someone. And what's interesting to me is that for years in the church we've complained, like the world's tuned us out. The world doesn't listen anymore. The world thinks that we're antiquated or whatever they think. Actually, they're giving us a chance. And now we have more people who are asking for help than we have churches to follow up on. So people say to me all the time, do you have enough churches? And my answer is always no. We clearly don't. And after this campaign that's running right now, there's about 5 more lined up, right, Evan? Behind them, ready, the Chosen and others who are they're not out. I'm not going to tell you they are yet because they don't want that known, but they're lining up behind it basically to say, hey, now that you've proven there's a conduit to people, we want to be able to help you reach people. And so I think we're just beginning to explore. Jordan was talking about this the other day, and what did you call it, Jordan? A new what? New form of evangelism?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we're just at the very, very beginning. We're learning as we go. Sometimes we fall, but we're getting up. And the technology in the beginning was spotty. Sometimes it worked great. Sometimes it leaves a little bit to be desired. It's getting better and better continually. It's just one iteration after another, continually improving. And we're getting to the place where I think we can safely say that we are making real connections with people, and it's life-changing. So if you looked at national stories across the country, you hear stories about people who their marriages came back together because they came to a church. You'll hear stories about people who have accepted Christ. One person that we're kind of following, first text, then talked, then did coffee, then did alpha, and now is dipping their toe into a community here at a church. So it's a long game. It's not a short game. It could lead to church growth, probably will. Mark is going to tell us a little bit of how that's happening in Macedonia, and Jordan's going to talk to us about how it's happening at LifeQuest. But I would say that's a secondary motivation in my mind. It's more about reaching the lost sheep when you leave the 99 to go after the one than it is about trying to grow your church. I think your church will grow, but one of the reasons why this matters is, I call it the Uberization of evangelism. Because there's a person who says, I want to talk to someone, and then we have churches full of people saying, I wish I had more conversations, right? So when in Uber says, I have a person who needs a ride, someone else who says, I want to make a little money with my car, and you just kind of join them together. All you need is a platform like Uber to join them in a way to make it profitable. Well, what Glue is doing is Glue is bringing people together. Some are saying, I want to talk about faith issues, and I like the fact I can be anonymous and I can stop anytime I want. I think that's part of the draw. If for any reason they want to say they're out, then they hit stop and it's over. We never follow up again, because stop means nothing else from our part. So they can do that. They always have that option. But I think that makes them feel safer. Some of the things that people tell you are amazing. They actually are saying these things. I think part of it is because they feel the freedom to do so. And that's a beautiful thing. So we're stepping into that space and trying to connect you to others. So if you wanted to get started and you wanted a demo, you could just shoot the QR code here. It's really simple and easy to do. There's nothing that happens with this that you'd regret except maybe spending 15 minutes of your time. Donors have paid for this, at least right now, for at least the next 6 months in Kansas City. So you can go on and you can try it for free. So donors have underwritten this, believing it's good for the church and it's good for our culture. And I think if they believe that, we should believe that too and give it a chance. And then you can make your own decision from there. People ask me sometimes, will it always be free? And I'll say, probably not. It'd be hard to make it able to keep operating and growing at an always free opportunity. However, it will be provided as long as we possibly can. So as long as there are donors who see the benefit, we'll keep passing that on to you. So I would encourage you to get started. But one other thing you could do is if you wanted to get started, just ask me or ask Jade or Belinda. We'll be glad to help show you. Within 5 minutes, we can show you how you can get your account started. And then you can see for yourself. You don't even have to wait for a demo. So we'll be glad to help you with that.